Oh,
All right, everyone. Hi, good morning. We are at Sunday, August 6th for our Zoom call, for our Sunday morning Zoom call for our ministry, psychiatricsobriety.com. And we're on board with Greg, Jody, Marcy, and Beloved. And this morning, we've actually got a topic. Usually we just go round and round, but this morning I felt guided to bring a topic because we have all been discussing the work of Gabor Mate, and it's time we actually formalize an outline and discuss the book, The Myth of Normal. Isn't that perfect for our ministry, psychiatric sobriety? What is normal? We're going to have a great time this morning, and this is my 5-minute introduction. Okay, so anyway, what is psychiatric sobriety? Who are we? Why do we assemble? And what do we do here? Well, it's informal, like I already said, but I just got to share who I am, and that kind of outlines the whole ministry. My name is Kenneth Price. I'm a 56-year-old man who spent 25 years of his life in the mental health system. I emerged from all that, and I made powerful discoveries. I became a wounded healer, and next thing you know, I get to host this beautiful ministry every Sunday morning, and I get to meet all of you amazing, mighty companions, and all of us are emerging from the mental health narratives, plural, that something was wrong with us, that we needed to fix ourselves, and subsequently, a lot of us got allowed ourselves to be prescribed medications. So what we do here is we unbelieve all these disempowering, untrue narratives, and most of us, when we start to unbelieve this, the medications begin to quit us. All right, I got to make that point real clear. People say, I got to quit my medications, and I have to start a ministry where we say, so whoa. We're going to do the work, and then the medications are going to quit us. All right. That's a very delicate topic because medications include pharmacology. Medications, include some powerful allopathic models. So here we go. Disclaimers. All right. So if you're watching this on YouTube, please do not misunderstand. We are not telling anyone to exit psychiatry. We are not telling anyone fire a therapist. We're not telling anyone that they need to get off their medications. Okay. The reason I started this ministry is because I was misdiagnosed, and I misunderstood, and I was following an old paradigm model. I was following a model which we're going to discuss today. I was following an allopathic model. Basically, I was an atheist. I didn't have a higher power. All right, that's an important point to bring home. In order to emerge from what I call a psychiatric parable, we've got to anchor faith in a higher power. This is a ministry, not a Christian ministry. Okay, we're not telling you to believe anything, except in a higher power, whatever higher power. That's why it's a psychiatric sobriety, because I'm a 12-stepper from way back. 12 steps, did not apply to any theological religious doctrine, but they did make it very clear that you have to do one thing first. You have to have faith in a higher power. So anyway, I think I've spoken enough. I'm doing it this morning on a MacBook Air, so I'm kind of fumbling. This is not my normal iPad. All right, so to begin every Zoom call, we say the healer's prayer. It's being recorded on YouTube for an hour. We say the healer's prayer because we're not teachers. Actually, I'll tell you what we are. Most of us, not all of us, but most of us are Course in Miracles students or Course in Miracles practitioners, okay? And in order to start each Zoom call, I say the here's prayer, which comes from the Course in Miracles, which goes like this. We are here only to be truly helpful, and we are here to represent him or her who sent us. We do not have to worry about what to say or what to do, because he or she who sent us will direct us. We are content to be wherever he or she wishes, knowing that he or she goes there with us. And we will be healed as we let him or her teach us how to heal. Okay, before we go into the Gabor Mate book, I want to share what's listen, if I'm going to be, if I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, I'm going to transparently give all of myself to this ministry and to this YouTube channel, and tell everyone about what I'm going through. Okay. I got triggered last night, big time. I was at a birthday dinner with friends. I don't want to go into specifics because I want to maintain anonymity, but all of a sudden, you know, some dream character performed an act, and next thing you know, the violence came out, the rage came out. And I didn't stuff it. All right. I didn't say, I didn't push it under. You know, I approached the person and I said no, and then I left. But boy, I didn't leave with a warm and fuzzy. I left saying, shit howdy, I got work to do this evening. And I'll share with you what I did. I did what I tell everybody else to do. I started reaching out, asking for help. I said, I got triggered. Every fiber of my being wants to blame the other person and say, make him wrong. But I'm a Course in Miracles student. I can't do that anymore now, can I? So I had to take responsibility. That's the reason I do this ministry, by the way, folks, because I need to take responsibility. I need to teach what I need to learn. About 4 mighty companions later, thank you, Jody, thank you, beloved. I saw it, and I'll share with the whole world what it was. Belief in unworthiness. I have a core belief in unworthiness. And I have to thank that person. You know, I'm not going to go in front of them. Oh, thank you for triggering me. I mean, maybe I will, but I'm not being that's not important. I need to thank, you know, the powers, you know, I need to thank my spirit guides, my higher power. Thank you for that trigger so that I could connect with beloved and with Jody this morning and get to take a look at the belief in unworthiness. Isn't that where we go every Sunday morning? You know, how can we be unworthy when we're connected? What is it Calico's always telling us? You're the Christ, you're the Christ. Basically, that's the opposite of unworthiness. All right. Oof. 7 minutes. How is everyone this morning? Gabor Mate's book. What was it? What is it? The Myth of Normal. Yeah, right. He talks about trauma. Folks, do you know what happened? Unworthiness got, you know, that was the virus that got injected in this man's belief system as a little boy when he couldn't go to this. Okay, this is one more thing I want to bring up. When I was a little boy and all the junk was happening, I couldn't go to, this is what he says in his book, I couldn't go to someone, didn't have an adult. So as a coping mechanism, I started to develop beliefs that you couldn't trust anyone. You had to take care of yourself and you're on your own. Basically, in a nutshell, I got disconnected. And that's fertilizer for mental illness. I don't want to complicate my story. But what did Beloved give me this morning? What did Jody give me this morning? Yeah, we went through some metaphysics together, but how about love? You guys love me back to sanity. Isn't that what we do every morning? I don't have any, you know, magic formula, but I don't think love has to be complicated. You guys took my call. You guys knew who I am. And I remembered who I was. And next thing you know, I found my own answers. That was my 9-minute introduction. I've talked too much. Whose turn is it next?
You always say that. No, you don't.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, when did you get your hair done, Beloved?
I just got to thank you for noticing. My daughter does it when I go to Kentucky.
Okay.
Yeah, so she did it.
Right.
She just did it before I left because I'm back in Georgia now.
Okay.
But I love this. Oh my God. Isn't this the Eagles' playground? Play.
Yeah.
Anybody can have long hair. Okay,
Yeah.
Kenneth? We can all be who we want to be.
No, not all of us can.
Yeah.
We always can, really. No, nothing is impossible. And I just am telling all my holy sogs, this is my word, my holy sogs, Son of God. You all are my holy sogs. We all are. And, you know, as I was telling my 8-year-old granddaughter, you better learn to laugh at yourself. You take yourself way too seriously. And can't we all take that? Can't we all take that advice? What if you had just laughed? What if you had just for a second knew that that wasn't you that was triggered? You know, what if I could have stopped myself that second from escalating that situation? That had a whole lot of ripple effect in my situation. I don't know what Kenneth's situation was, but you know, we all know what happens when you get triggered and you get out of control. This is the thing. You know, we cannot be out of control here. We cannot. What does that look like?
And let me join with you on that, because here's what the narrative was. You know, this is what my downward spiral looks like. You know, the next morning I've got to go apologize to him. Now, the truth is, no apologies. I stood up, I said no, and I left. You know, the belief, you know, see, when I was a little boy, you know, I heard that, you're hurting me. You're hurting me. You're hurt. This is the narrative from an unconscious parent. You know, not an evil parent, but an unconscious parent who's trying to control their child. And that's what Gabor talks about. You know, these are old parenting techniques that, you know, have generated a whole society of mentally ill people. And this is the take it back, unwind. No, I don't need to apologize because I didn't hurt anybody. You know, this is what we're doing. This is the unbelief that we have the capacity to hurt others. And with that comes the belief that others have the capacity to hurt us. And suddenly we're starting to be free to, you know, I'm getting one of these from Beloved here. And our freedom is coming back. And no more pharmaceuticals.
Yep.
Hi, Catherine. Thank you for coming on board, Catherine. Can you hear us?
No.
Yes, Kathy, it's nice to see you.
Yeah, I saw your post, Catherine, so I'm glad you came on board. I don't know
if she could hear us.
Can I jump in and tell you what's going on with me? Or not? Can we? I've been taking homeopathic opium, which doesn't get you an opium high. It fights something like an opium high. Anyways, I've been taking it for 2 weeks, and the fear and the anger is leaving, the shock, and the trauma, and it's helping me to wake back up. Because all the effects of all the pills have like subdued my personality. So this is like something that's just like waking me back up, and I have like my identity back again after all those pills. So I'm feeling like my personality come back, and I'm just like, I'm starting to feel joy again and happiness. I'm starting to feel alive again. So it kind of like takes you out of a kind of a opium-like days, you know, and that's kind of where I've been. But it's been phenomenal. It's been phenomenal. This has been the big game changer for me too. So let's see.
I want to encourage you to keep going with that, Greg, because I want to archive that it's gone from a belief in pharmaceuticals to a belief in homeopathy. I'll take a belief in homeopathy any day over pharmaceuticals. That belief is a much more empowering belief. Go for it.
Yeah. Well, because I think that's true too, because when you heal, you realize that there was not something with your body, wrong with your body. There was something wrong with your vital force. And that means that you were traumatized. So it doesn't restore the body. It restores the human being behind the body. So that's the magic of homeopathy. And it's a complete reset. It's a complete reset to the default setting before the trauma. So in a sense, even though it doesn't affect disease and everything, you could say it heals you from these mental illnesses, which were actually just illnesses of the vital force. So yeah, you have a different understanding of what sick was. For me, it's kind of like after the fact. After I heal, I realize, oh, there wasn't something wrong with my body. This happened to me. It's more of a cause and effect thing than just something was fucking wrong with me. It's a big difference. It's a big difference. It's a very empowering kind of thing. You do deal with sickness, but it's like a very indirect way. And then I think, I see so many people in the recovery, they get 2/3 of the way there. They learn how to manage an illness, but this just actually gets rid of all your, your ickies, I guess you could say.
One of the quotes from Teal Swan is very, very simple. She says that instead of asking the question, what's wrong with you? The real question we should be asking is who hurts you?
Yeah, right.
Now this ties directly into the book we're going to be discussing today, The Myth of Normal. Catherine, are you back online? Okay, so can you hear us, and can you do you feel like sharing this morning? There you are. I can hear you.
Okay, good. Hi.
Hi.
Are you still in Mexico? Wow.
Who's in
How is it?
Mexico?
I'm in Mexico. Andrea went out.
Oh, okay, yeah,
so
yeah.
Andrea came on the call last week, but she went out this morning to have breakfast with a friend.
Well, I'll jump. Oh, go ahead, Kathy.
I just say, Catherine, you missed the introduction. I got triggered last night. I would have returned your call, but I was in the middle of my own storm.
Yeah.
I just every fiber of my being says, and Jody, I think if Jody and I talked about this morning, don't bother anyone. That's the narrative that goes up when I get triggered. I hear the narrative, don't bother anyone. Or even before I pick up that phone, it's like, what am I going to say to them to make it sound metaphysically correct? Because I don't want to pick up the phone and let someone know that I've already gone all the way down and I'm just awash in my blame and my victim. You know what? Beloved and Jody both took the call this morning, and they know that I'm not victim, and they know that I'm not blame, and I unwound myself from it this morning. We all unwound from it together. This is the whole purpose of the support group, so that we can all unwind and use this community to remember this higher truth. Otherwise we're just awash in these narratives. Two minds, basically, ego and spirit. But it hurts because I was telling you, Catherine, I got the unworthiness button pushed last night. I'm not worthy. The person who pushed the button was more worthy of love than I was. And that was where the rage came from. You guys love him, but I don't deserve your love. Because there's not enough love to go around. And I got to sit in the corner and give it to him because he's more valuable than me. That was a formula for the rage. It's fire element. Call it psychiatric sobriety, because they basically, like we say in the program, didn't drink or use over it.
Didn't drink.
I have no more medications left. I don't have any more pills. I don't have any more addictions. And I gotta be with it and trust it. Trust. I think that was either Beloved or Jody or somebody I was talking to this morning. We went through, because I'm in a spiritual community where they say, oh, if you get triggered, go off, get a tablet, get a pen, and trace it back, find out what the belief is. And I was like, I can't sit still. I was chewing my nails. I was pacing the carretera. I was, bought a pack of cigarettes. I went out and I was smoking cigarettes. I said, this is not sitting.
This is what?
And this is not sitting with it.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? See, these are the narratives. You're not sitting with it. No, that's not true. I was with it. Sitting doesn't mean I physically need to sit, in the position on a high back chair like I am now. Maybe they should say be with it. You can't not be with it. Yeah. And the answers came this morning. The sanity returned this morning. So that's why I call it psychiatric sobriety, because of all those great slogans from the 12-step programs. The answers will come if your own house is in order, from the 12 steps and from the Course in Miracles. Infinite patience produces immediate results. I'm sorry, Catherine.
What? How does that work?
Yeah, well, good question. We'll do another Zoom call on how that works. But let's get to I'm sorry, Catherine. Catherine, I took your spot.
Oh, no, that's okay. Hi, it's nice to be back. So I was really excited about going to school in September, and now I just feel like a bag of crud. Because, all this stuff playing in my mind about going back and being old and whatever, and what are you doing? Like, get a fucking real job. And I still haven't found a place to live in Toronto, and I don't have any money yet. So what I have here in Ottawa is a rent supplement, which pays for like 70% of my rent because of my disability. And so if I give that up, I'm screwed because rent is insane right now. Anyway, so I have to find a place here to sublet, which I'm still looking. Like, I have less than 3 weeks. So I'm just freaking out, and yeah, I go to that place of, my God, like, open up, universe, like, is it because I'm doing something wrong? Like, I'm doing something wrong, I'm unworthy, all that stuff is just weighing me down. So yeah, I like the way you explained it, Kenneth, because that's exactly what is happening.
And this is good, Catherine, because like I've shared with other people, I want these storms, I want these storms documented, because then when we've all seen, this is perfect. Let's document the downs, let's document the ups, and let's notice the pattern of the ups and the downs, as if we're not supposed to go down. That's the old narrative. We're not supposed to go down. Yeah, give me a whole bunch of pills to keep you from going down, because those pills kept us from going up too. No, we're supposed to be fluid. We're supposed to ride the waves. We're here to learn how to surf, for God's sake, surf these waves. And this is exactly what you're doing. You're coming here and you're surfing, you're taking surfing lessons. And eventually, what happens slowly is, that's where the metaphysics come in slowly. As we begin to master the surfing, we slowly begin to back off from the surfer. Slowly begin to notice that we are not the one who's doing the surfing. You see where the metaphysics come in? All the masters teach us, become the observer, become the witness. Well, it's where we're setting the intention. But as time goes on and we begin to notice the patterns of the ups and the downs, that's when we start to ask ourselves the question, there's a pattern and a rhythm here, and we're the ones watching it, we're the ones noticing it. That's where the miracle begins to pop us out of all these mental illness. Mental illness is fear. Let's call it out what it is. Mental illness is believing we're a human being. No, more mental illness. We're the ones watching the human being. We're the ones watching the human being, do these marvelous creative things, like, sign up for advanced education, moving to Toronto, taking trips out into the woods, spending time with our grandkids, in Kentucky or wherever you are, beloved, or getting triggered. You guys see, what was it Shakespeare said? All life's a play and we are merely actors. Could this possibly be real? Could these stories possibly be us?
And can we enjoy the surf? Can you enjoy being in the crunch, Kathy? I mean, we whipped it up for something. We needed a little bit of more excitement. We need a little bit more pressure on us. You know what I'm saying? We need to whip it up. I mean, it's energies, and you can't be attached. You on a surfing wave, how are you going to be attached to that wave? You have to be in the present, and you have to be connected. And connected means you have thoughts about the future, but you don't know, and you are open to be guided. All right? None of us knows. The best planners of planners, shit gets fucked up. I don't care. You don't got no control. None of us do. We just under illusions of it.
Thank you.
We just under the illusions. And we're here surfing a wave. And why aren't we? You know, the Course doesn't say we're not insane. The Course says insanity 50 quadrillion times. Insanity is the ego thought system. That is this world. There is never going to be nothing that you ain't going to be surfing in this world. If you're still in the caterpillar stage, you're going to be surfing. Oh, I need a job. Oh, I need this place. Oh, I don't have money. Oh, I don't know if I get kicked out, where I'll go next. I don't know. Girl, I'm always there. If I want to go there, oh, I know I have no money, blah, 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 blah. I mean, it's not unusual. And it's even, not even an interesting storyline. I mean, I have a hard time finding a good fiction book nowadays. They have to put murders in it now. I mean, who has a day when, you now you run into a murder? Life is interesting enough. Please, we don't need that. Anyways, I'm off track. But my point is,
Actually, I needed to hear that today.
We love the surf. Don't pretend we don't.
Yeah.
Don't pretend we didn't set it up ourselves to have this fabulous, not heaven life.
Yeah.
We chose to be here. We chose to get in this dream. It's a dream. It's a dream. It's a dream. The Course says it's a dream. We're the holy sons of God. We're SOGs. We've never left. We're always there. Anytime you think you're a personality, good. Enjoy it. Like Greg said, let the darkness go. Be a happy personality then. But you're not. It doesn't change. It doesn't change the truth. Your illusions don't change the truth. I just read a beautiful piece of the text this morning that talks about that. I mean, Kenneth, we always at the Course of Miracles, ultimately, we have to face it. Like he just said, Shakespeare said this, we're in this play. We wrote it. We wrote this character, whoever. I got long hair today, and, we change, we get high, we have drama because we need to expend some energy here. A lot of energy is coming in. We're going through an ascension process, people. Nothing's the same. Everybody's being triggered. Don't believe it's not. I mean, we were watching this show called Beef. I mean, is that not the escalating this, triggering this show on Netflix? I mean, look at what they're souping us up. We're being set up. And we can be set up to ascend, or we can stay in the chaos.
Yeah.
And we're just lazy people staying in lazy habits. My coach ain't taking it no more. She says, you ain't that person no more. Let it go.
Yeah.
We're doing this now. You don't have the mental illness excuse. We had to let that one go. I mean, that's what Gabor Mate, that is the myth of normal. What he's saying is, there's no test for mental illness. I can't take a blood test and say, you motherfucker got schizophrenia. It don't work like that. There is no biological scientific shit for that. But what he is saying is, given a person's story that they believe they've lived, they're traumatized by it. And they have developed certain ways to deal with it.
Yeah.
That are not really sensible, practical, or they don't work, because you don't develop this stuff at 3 or 5 or 7 or whenever the trauma hits you. And you 50-11 now, and you're still using them little baby tools. Byron Katie says it. She says we're still like dinosaurs here. We still have war. That's gonna fix things.
How's this sitting for you, Marcy? Where are you at this
morning? Marcy, how you doing?
Good. I'm really good. So we're like talking kind of right now about our ego and our drama and everything. And
these calls always go in whatever direction. Remember the healer's prayer. So whatever direction needs to. I thought it was going to be the myth of normal, but apparently.
The myth of normal. I haven't read that book yet, and I'm going to get that book. I'm so reading that book. Oh my gosh. All I was going to say is I had this big plan for myself, and I'm working myself down off my meds and, just doing that kind of stuff. And so I was like, oh, I got this great brainstorm. I'm like, I know how I can deal with my anxiety, right? I'll get a trampoline, a rebounder. And so I did. I ordered it and it came. I'm all excited. And my husband and I go for our hike yesterday. And there's like a piece of metal sticking up out of the ground. And I kind of like stepped on it, hit it with my foot. And anyway, so
Mm.
I'm out of commission. I'm like sitting on my couch.
Oh,
I'm like, and it's just funny to me because, you know, like the old me would have just been like, oh, okay, you know, this, I have a setback or whatever. And now I'm looking at it going, oh, okay, so I guess I do have some resistance and some fears about, you know, going down again on my meds. And that's how I'm looking at this, is like this little out of commission thing is just sort of like my, I don't know, my ego kind of just saying, nope, you know, your little plan isn't going to work. But the funny thing about it is I'm like fluid enough now that I can be like, oh, okay, well, if that didn't work to go down on my meds and use that for my anxiety, I'll figure out something else. I'm still going to go down on my meds and I'm still going to deal with my anxiety. I'm not going to, you know what I mean? Just because my little plan didn't work. So I'm just, I think I talked about this last week. I'm in super baby steps. Like I'm, you know, I'm still on my meds, on some of my meds. I've been able to go down quite a lot. And the unexpected side effect of feeling a connection to spirit and to other people has been what's motivating me to keep going. So I'm experiencing, yeah, the side effects are not very fun, but there's good side effects, and it's the good side effects that I'm focused on. Like, you know, I can feel my heart starting to like soften and open, and I just realize how asleep I've been. I've been super drugged and super asleep and
there you go.
waking. Yeah. And like I'm really interested, Greg, in your homeopathy, because now what's the remedy that you took for the antidote?
Opium. Yeah.
Oh, it's called opium? Oh,
Yeah, but it's not, it's homeopathic opium. So it gets you out
yeah.
of a opium like state. So
That's,
yeah, we're on the same page. It kind of woke me back up and my identity's back and all that. Yeah.
yes. Well, you have like a smile on your face today. And
Yeah.
like as soon as he went to you, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it was 2 days ago. I was watching, do y'all remember Strangers with Candy on Comedy Central?
Mm-mm.
Anyways, I watched that and I laughed my ass off. I haven't done that like in years. I was like, I just couldn't. And then the next day I thought about it. I was like, I was like, shit, where did that come from? You know?
Job.
Yeah.
Good job.
So, but you're which ones are how long have you been coming off yours?
Not very long.
Okay, but you're feeling
yeah,
yourself again?
Yeah, not very long. I didn't even really know that it was an option until
Okay,
I'm just on YouTube, right? And
right.
the you know, it's like in my life, little synchronicities kind of happen to where I wasn't clicking on this ministry. It just popped up.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, Kenneth is so like engaging, and you can't like turn away, you know. It's like I'm listening and I'm like, oh, it's possible for me to maybe consider going off some of these medications. And maybe, you know, I've been hitting forgiveness has been like my big, for about 2 years. My goal is to forgive. I mean,
Right.
which led me to the course, which led me to Keith Kavanaugh, which led me here to this ministry. And it just popped up on my YouTube, and I'm like, it's all meant to be. It's all, you know, if this is popping up on your YouTube, this is, you know, your spirit is communicating with you, and
Yeah,
it's
perfect.
telling you something.
Can we jump on that? Can you tell us more, Marcy? Because that is finally when I realized Spirit's it's been trying to get through to me the whole time. I just didn't know how to listen. Share with us more on how we can listen to Spirit, because it's like, that's just a coincidence. No, that's no coincidence. That's Spirit giving us the next right step. I used to think it was woo-woo. And boy, did I have to eat some humble pie on that one. That was just my skepticism. It was in the 12 steps. It says contempt prior to investigation. If I follow those little nudges, I begin to notice those patterns. Those patterns are a trail of breadcrumbs out of the dark forest. Thank you for bringing that up. Maybe that'll be the Zoom call, the topic instead of Gabor Mate.
Yeah. Synchronicity is weird. For me, I started seeing it all together. I was almost ungrounded because I just knew that everything happened in a very particular way for a very good reason, So
Catherine, how's that sitting? Because I know this is the other thing I want to use in this ministry. When I'm in the dark forest, the last thing I need is for someone to say, get out of your self-pity. Because actually, you know what? I'm already beating up on myself.
Right.
And the dream character, trying to get the dream character out of self-pity, actually puts me further and deeper onto the movie screen itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where I did all those ayahuasca ceremonies in 2019. That's where shamans actually sometimes can trick. They have not in a diabolical way, but sometimes there's a mind trick where we can just jog the mind. Medicines can do that. Medicines can actually go like that to jog us out of the actual looping itself.
I've heard that.
Because
I'm gonna let you know what I mean. You all talk about pharmaceuticals, but I wasn't on pharmaceuticals. But you know what you described, I was in. I mean, if you call depression, I didn't have no pills to say that's why I was, but depression, what y'all say, yeah, that happened to me. And we manufacture all these drugs in our body anyways, just so y'all know. We manufacture everything. The drug that sent me on a manic ride was I can manufacture it inside. I don't need no exit. I don't need no outside thing to do it. That's something. So I understand, we talk about getting off of medications, and I just want to talk to those of you like me who was diagnosed with a mental illness and who just went through the depression without the pills. And it's the same, it seems to me the same journey.
Yeah.
It sounds like we all suffer the same.
I was going to jump on that, but you already said it. Perfect, beloved, because I've been on pills. You were not been on pills, but guess what? It was the same experience. So and the reason I want to anchor this is because I can't blame it on the pharmaceuticals anymore. Oh, this is benzo withdrawal. Oh, I've got to wait for my brain to heal. Oh, these are my GABA receptors. I'm here to take those narratives and say no more of those narratives. Thank you for bringing that up, because I can do that because I was caught in those narratives, waiting for my brain to heal, No. If I'd waited for my brain to heal, I would still be on the couch, where I was, 10 years ago. No, I had to get off that couch, take up your mat and walk. I in a kind and gentle and loving. I'm sure when Jesus said that, he said it with a tone of voice that had all the empathy in the world, but all the authority to go along with it. And I know it's hard, because every fiber of our being says, I can't do this. I can't do this. It's the little engine that could. Last night when I got triggered, every fiber of my being wanted to take this fist and break that man's jaw. Okay, so I'm here to say this is hard work, but I'm also here to say that I chose to exit the restaurant, take the walk, and do the work. And that's why I'm not real popular, because it takes courage to do this work. But everyone who comes on board is I guarantee everyone who comes on board here is emergence or bust. It can't be otherwise.
I just want to say something about the pharmaceuticals, because every time I got off the benzos, I went absolutely insane. I was filled with not fear, but terror for like about a year. So I think the pharmaceuticals, what's the word? Like they make everything bigger.
Well, and in my story, you know, that was my narrative too. And I had to write a new narrative. That's what started this ministry off. It's like, I finally realized I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I said, this is not benzo withdrawal. This is a pharmacologically induced dark night of the soul. I said, this belief is more empowering than this belief. So you know what? A pharmacologically induced dark night of the soul was the first guided, step that I was told to take to begin to walk myself out of that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Worked. And that's why I started this ministry, because I found something that worked. Listen, the Course in Miracles says, and I think maybe Beloved can help me if I don't get this wrong. Nothing is going wrong except in the ego's judgment. And basically those benzo withdrawal Facebook pages were the viscosity of the ego, no judgment. But I saw, I was in there and I said, somebody should do something about this. And took a good look in the mirror and I said, I can do something about this. Someone's got to take a machete and forge a new trail out of that particular. There's only one dark forest, but this is a particular trail for people who have been on psych meds and benzodiazepines. This is my testimony.
Or in depression.
Testimony is applicable across the board. You can probably relate to my story if I go down the list of all those hundreds of pharmaceuticals I was on. Doesn't matter. Throw the specifics out, and by the way, just throw out the specifics. It's the same story for everyone who wakes up out of the cocoon. This is the point where those medications may have put me into a cocoon. It doesn't matter how we got the cocoon. The point is we're in a cocoon, but it's not a failed caterpillar. It's a dissolving caterpillar. Dissolving into what? It's a butterfly, folks. You're not caterpillars, you're butterflies.
And we got to use our tools. I love that Greg's sharing his tool. And Marcy, I meant to say something about the rebounder. I'm a big fan of exercise, moving your body, joy, passion. I mean, there was a time where I didn't dance and I thought I lost it. I mean, I can't imagine it now, but at one point, this is how, when we don't manage our energy and we're in that low energy of unworthiness, that's not unique. That's just where you go when you're under 200. That's just called a bell saying, wake up, those unworthiness thoughts. You are loved. We love you. Reach out. We'll take, what I'm saying? That's what that is for. We just think it's to beat up on ourselves some more and say, oh yeah, no wonder all this shit's happening because I'm unworthy. No, we got it backwards. Anyways, I don't know. What was my point? I forgot, but love yourselves. That's what it is.
I think butterflies one. The thing I've enjoyed in this process is butterflies. One thing, I was watching a lobster yesterday on YouTube molting. I was like, I know what that feels like.
Oh, Greg, perfect. That goes back to what Marcy said. Greg, it was no accident that the lobster, the molting lobster, came onto your YouTube channel.
It was true.
Because we're doing the same thing. We're outgrowing our old skins. It's perfect.
Yeah.
See, more synchronicity. We have to look for these synchronicities.
Yeah. Well, I've created, with, I guess you could say, my spirit guides, a very substantial belief in spirit animals, and now, I don't know if it would have existed before, but something knows that I'm looking for this shit. And it is very active in giving me what I'm looking for. I've been doing it for about a decade now. And every fucking thing that I see now, there's a purpose for it. Every single insect, every single animal, whether it's in nature or on YouTube or something. Yeah, that lobster was there for me. I mean,
and you got Marcy doing this, you've got Beloved doing this, and you've got Jody doing this. We need feedback from our mighty companions who say, yes,
No.
That's why you all should join us. If you're watching us on YouTube, you should join us on Zoom, because you get to see all of our faces and how we're responding. And I make funny faces all the time. And,
It's hard work, because when like last night, after I got triggered, after the violence, the unworthiness came back, the victim came back, and preceded by the violence in about a Jack Flash moment. I couldn't see my way out. I truly, honestly, folks, and if you are watching us on YouTube, I know how much courage it takes to choose the peace of God when every fiber of your being says, I want to take a gun and kill someone right now. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. That's how deep the mental illness, and how deep this wounded little boy, it wasn't me. It was a wounded little boy who had a memory triggered. That's why I wanted to make it about Gabor Mate's book. That little boy had a 6-year-old memory of having to go stand in the corner while I don't want to go into the story, but that little boy came back. I had to take a walk and take care of him first. I had to go down there and pet the horses on Lake Chapala. Very simple. I petted the horse and started talking to the horse. That's what my inner child work looks like. And again, I have to point out, it's no accident that there was a horse on the Lake Chapala, tied up with they had a bit in his mouth, and he was tied up with a rope. Spirit sent me that horse so that I could talk to that horse that evening, instead of sitting there, performing a crime that would put me in a Mexican jail.
Yeah.
This is a moment by moment trust. We have to completely reprogram that little boy at 6 years old put he got a virus in his hard drive. This is nothing more than a hard drive, if we haven't noticed by now, and it got a virus. It was beliefs are viruses, and we have to defragment this computer program. And somebody, and this is, I couldn't do it right away, and I'm not going to do it to his face. Maybe I will, but it's not important. But thank him for pushing that button last night, the unworthiness button, because I'd been sitting on that. I was going through a low-grade depression last night. I wasn't going to be very good company at my friend's birthday party anyway, because I had a low-grade depression, and so it was because of the unworthiness, which is right below the surface. I got pulled up. And now I get to spend Sunday morning, processing it with my wonderful mighty companions on Zoom. I'm talking again. Whose turn is it next?
and so
What
we
do you
can
think
all
about
learn
these
from
stories
Kenneth
that we're
that
talking
it's not the situation we're in.
Right.
It's not about the situation. So it wasn't about the dude, what he said to Kenneth. It's not about you 3 weeks until your deadline happens. It's not about you cutting your toe when you rebound. And Jody, we haven't heard from you, but you just look sunshining and light. So, we're never upset for the reason we believe. So really, that's really, it's liberating to know that, because you don't have to go prove your point. You don't have to spend all that energy going around and around. Well, they hadn't said that. I mean, I've done it. I do it still. I still find myself caught up in those past traumatic stories. I mean, even I'm getting sick and tired of them. I'm getting sick and tired of hearing that same damn thing every time. I'm just tired. Go ahead. Sorry.
I think that's why I feel so much frustration and anger, because I'm just tired of this self freaking out all the time. But one thing I did yesterday, I was feeling so stuck in, an unworthy bubble. I heard a song that woke me up, and it was a woman singing. I don't know if you know the song, but it's I See Red. It is so powerful. She's just talking about, the song is about her, just catching her husband with another woman. And it's she's just so angry the whole song, and that's it. There's no forgiveness, no nothing. Letting out her anger. You two-time and cheap lying wannabe. And the chorus is, I see red, oh red. She's just freaking out the whole song.
I love it. I love it.
Even
Express
says,
yourself.
He
Express
says,
it.
a gun to your head, executioner style. And it's like, I sang that yesterday a couple times and oh, I felt so good. And I was just thinking about just anything that's ever held me back, you know?
Yeah.
That's where I was going. We got to find what brings us our energy up. You know, what brings you joy and laugh, or something that breaks you out that cycle of below 200, that low level energy. So, you know, finding whatever it is, get out. You know, I forgot to go out in nature. Oh my God. I got caught up doing this, that, the other. No, we have to always take care of ourselves. Put yourself first. I love the rebounder idea. You know, all these things, you know, we know it's about the mind, but you know, what you do with your body is reflecting what's going on in your mind. So when you're unworthy, you're going to be eating them chips and ice cream and all that shit, sitting in front of the TV watching depressing shit. You know, when you're feeling better, you're going to reach for an apple. You're going to drink some more water. You're going to go outside. You're going to buy a plant. You're going to sing. You're going to dance. You know, you're going to laugh. So these are what we want to, we're nurturing that here. Whatever stage you're in, these things are helpful to heal where there's no match to that pharmaceuticals, if that's what we're talking about. Like Kenneth says, they will let go of you, but you won't be able to do it. And if you haven't heard of Kate Greaves, C-A-T-E Greaves, she has a beautiful story on how, if you've ever seen her testimony, she's a Course in Miracles teacher. She's just amazing. But her journey from a lot of pills and her suffering and all her story and her resentment against her father. And I mean, just the transformation, that it just makes you cry. So, you know, we're talking about the metaphysical here. We're talking about faith. We're not talking at the allopathic doesn't have none of that in there. They don't have no talk like that. They don't even care about your nutrition. They don't even ask what you eat. You know, they're not asking what your diet is. You could be eating all kinds of bullshit and coming to them saying, I need some help because I'm depressed. Yeah, mother, you eat all that bad shit. Depressed.
Yeah.
Can I jump
I mean,
in
come
here?
on now.
I gotta jump. Love it. Thank God you're on board, because that has to be recorded. But Kathy, this is what's beautiful when you come online. You share with us the lows, and then all of a sudden, you've done this before. What comes out of you, Kathy, is a beautiful singing voice. It's recorded. You think Spirit's given you this amazing singing voice, and I don't know what the song you was. I want to hear the whole, I want to hear it from start to finish about the color red. Look at the color that's behind me now, Kathy. All I can do is point out that you're channeling right now, and a mighty companion to say Spirit's working through you right now, because what you believe is going wrong is now broadcast on YouTube. I don't know how many people it's going to help. You're a messenger already, whether you like it or not.
It's my singing is my medicine. It's the only way I can truly express myself. All feelings that you're not supposed to feel, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Each
Can I say
one of us
go ahead.
Just
highly individualized curriculum.
Greg, I just want to say I found the spiritual meaning of lobster. Emotional growth and thought transformation are two of lobster's spirit energetic signatures.
Yeah.
Can I just
everything I get has been telling me the same thing: transformation, rebirth, and it looks like from what I'm doing, I'm gonna have a breakthrough in the next few months. So yeah, those lobsters,
Anyway,
those
sorry,
crabs,
Ken.
those butterflies, those frogs, they all fucking say the same damn thing.
I want to
I
add
want to
something.
say something of gratitude, though, real quick. You know, I think the thing that y'all have really done for me is like, well, y'all said a lot of the same things over and over again. It's almost like going to these 12-step meetings where you see these things on the wall. But when I've been taking the opium, you know, my personalities come back. And I remember I heard you, Kenneth, saying, I mean, you've said it a million times, but who you are cannot be harmed. I was like, oh, there's Greg. Oh, fuck. I didn't know he was there. So And it's just, it's just helpful to hear. I mean, you say you preach, Kenneth, but yeah, you're repetitive, but it's working for me. And and just hearing Jody's got her things, and I hear Beloved. I heard her yesterday. What's a mental? When I went to the psychiatrist, I heard that. I saw mental illness. So there's just a lot of gifts y'all have given me. I just wanted to say that real quick. And it's just the phrases y'all have said. It's just again and again. It's been helpful. So I'm about to pull through to the other end, I think, and just wanted to say thank y'all. So that's it.
Love you, buddy.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to get to Jody real quick. We got 5 minutes left. Right before we get to Jody, I got to add something, but I'll keep it real quick. Hey, Catherine, Spirit's giving you your voice. You know what, Catherine? It took me 50 years to just wake up out of the dream long enough to see mine has been in front of me my whole time. I was guided as a teenager to start drawing happy children cartoons. Mm-hmm. It took this man 50 years for to just to see the obvious. Mm-hmm. Kenneth, you've been drawing happy children cartoons your entire life. Duh! Draw happy children. I'm laughing at it now because it took me into my 50s to realize there is no accident there. Okay. Anyway, Jody, it's I want to get to you before we wrapped up the recording itself. Are you unmuted? I'm on this new platform. Yeah, you're unmuted. Anything you'd like to add to? Because Jody, you saved my ass. Well, you and Beloved both saved my ass this morning, but you guys took my calls this morning.
Well, one of the things I really struggle with is self-expression. And I think it's really important to not only my story, my past, my present, my current journey. And it also really ties into the talk about the myth of normal with Gabor Mate. Mm-hmm. Because when we repress ourselves, when we repress our emotions, when we repress our needs, it gets messy and we get sick. And I really recognize for me just like how I've got all of this stuff going on. I had a lot of trauma in my childhood that I didn't talk about. And then I had a lot of trauma in my early adulthood. And then I had a really big T trauma that kind of threw me into the mental health system. And then that was 13 years of trauma. And so like there's all of this trauma and I never really talked about it. I never expressed it. And so it all just kind of sticks around in there and causes all sorts of issues. And so just talking about it is so healing. Just getting it out, having somebody that you can call, a mighty companion. Like Kenneth called me this morning and he went on a rant, right? Like he had some stuff, he got triggered. He had some stuff that had to be said. And I've done that to him. Like how many times have I called him ranting? Like just, we got to get it out of us.
And this is beautiful, perfect for YouTube as we wrap this up. And what you shared with me this morning, Jody, was that, you had a belief that you might have been bothering me. And I had a belief that I might have been bothering you. We flipped that belief right side up because the higher truth was that you were gifting me and I was gifting you. Mm-hmm. We are living in an upside down hologram where others have the capacity to harm us. Well, that's not true. Others have the capacity to love us. If I can leave on nothing more than that note, we all have to be warriors and face that if we pick up that phone, someone's going to shame us. And 9 times out of 10, someone end up loving me. Back to health, back to mental health. It's my story and I'm sticking to it. We got to shut off the recording now. It's 10:59. This is
Okay.
Kenneth Price on Sunday, August 6th for our, well, who knows? No, it's probably close to, it's over 100 Zoom calls, but I lost track, with Greg, Marcy, and Beloved, and Catherine, and Jody. And this time I am going to ask for donations, you guys. Do make some donations if you're attending the Zoom call and you're getting something out of it. This time I'm going to ask. If you're watching on YouTube, go on my YouTube description line below. You'll find the website, and I do accept donations. That would be very helpful. And come on board on a Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time. And like Marcy does every single week, which I love, Marcy. Thank you. I respond to every single one. Leave your comments below. Is this helpful? Because this is not a new message. However, it is a new community of courageous souls who have chosen to what's the line, to penetrate the veils of mental illness, and I don't know what the tagline of my own ministry is anymore, and permeate the veils of mental illness. Kenneth Price, and love to have you on board on a Sunday morning. Let's see if I can find the record button on this MacBook Air. Let's see, reactions, chat, security, whiteboard, pause, stop. May the force be with you. God bless.